Back in the Neolithic era, the PlayStation 2 and Xbox were released, and with it a new bar for gaming was set. These were some of the first systems, in my opinion, where games were hyped up a little bit before release, and also when games started to get significantly more ambitious. With hype and size in mind, developers were pressured into making the best product possible. A game on release was required to be, at the very least, complete, finished, and polished. Security Breach is not that.
Dope as hell. This is cool.
She is such a bad bitch, though. I will fuck the shit out of that robot, man. I'm not even. Musk.
Suck these nuts.
Security Breach is fucking broken on launch, I'm sorry. On a pure technical level, this game is smelly dookie dog shit. I really like the series, and I want to like this game, but I think its stay on release is rough, and it sets a bad precedent for the industry and the series. Excuse me. Older games, for example Halo, set a standard on how to release under pressure. While given relatively little time in the oven, it at least released finished, polished, and playable, not to mention, insanely good. Security Breach really fucked the pooch when it comes to these standards. There's just no shot that this game is a complete package. It seems like it's missing so much content and is just begging for DLC. The story has huge plot holes, the cutscenes appear way too fast, the pacing is all over the place, and it just generally feels rushed. Why does Gregory get special treatment from Freddy? Why are there two Vanessas? Why are the events of FNAF 6 completely ignored? These are questions that I don't know the answer to, and they aren't hidden away in a fun lore way that the other games do. They just straight up remain unanswered because they're not included. This game is also just not finished technically. You can get soft locked, hard locked, get stuck in a wall, get stuck in the abyss, and beat the game in 5 minutes with relative ease. And that is just the frosting on the giant shit dog poop cake that is this game.
Game review. Guys, I played the new FNAF.
Like I said earlier, the state that Security Breach was released in sets a bad precedent for the gaming industry. Cyberpunk popularized this formula of released first, fixed later that has unfortunately taken AAA gaming by storm. COD, Battlefield, Far Cry, these are all half-baked games that were clearly just shit out to meet a deadline. It's just such a shame to see one of my favorite franchises follow suit like this. While those games are all bad in their own right, FNAF takes the cake for worst stayed on release this year.
On a technical level.
It sucks too, because I actually really like the core of this game. The visuals are interesting, albeit undercooked, the characters and writing are genuinely great, and the gameplay is solid. But for the norm to be releasing games bloated and unfinished is frankly unacceptable, at least from a consumer and goopy goblin gamer brain standpoint. This is why I mentioned Halo. Much like FNAF, it had a deadline and expectations to meet, and it met them. I know that the size of the Bungie team was bigger than Steel Wool, and they frankly worked inhuman hours, but FNAF had significantly more time. Steel Wool's ambitions were too unrealistic, whereas for example Bungie kept their ambition in check. Bungie had to cut content and retool their game, and they eventually made it work. Steel Wool cut content, and they did not plan around it. If games continue to release like this in the future, that is, sadly, not poggers for the gaming industry.
The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night.
So with all this tomfoolery and lollygagging about, is there a moral? Well, kinda. My main takeaway is this. Never get angry over a delay. When publishers and developers delay a game, it, from what I can tell, is not to spite the consumer. It's to make a better product, give devs more time, and complete the game. When Elden Ring got delayed, I took it as a sign that FromSoft wanted to make the game the best it could be. If Security Breach got delayed, I guarantee you the game would be regarded much more highly. Trying to shit the game out for a holiday release is a good idea on paper, but if you take one look at this cumtastic conglomeration of a game, you would realize that it's not such a good idea in practice.
Bitch, I'm okay.
Security Breach is a kinda good game, but it could have been a great one. The fact that it released this broken and was still so successful sets a bad precedent for the industry. I use Halo as an example of a rushed game that was great on launch, to contrast the industry's standards from then and now. I really like Steel Wool's work on FNAF VR, and I have no doubt they'll fix Security Breach right up. I just don't want every game to be as silly as FNAF on launch, and the dangers of ambition can be just as dangerous as unambition when not kept realistic.